Hello, my dear viewers. How have you been? It's yet another time for Poetry Talk by Richard, the poet. Last time, I promised you that I'm going to talk about the writing of my students. And today, I'm here in front of you to talk about that. I keep promises. Do you? In front of me, we have two books that have been done by my children and by the students that I teach. This is a book, Bounding for Light. It was published in 2018 by a Zimbabwean publishing house. And this is Sparks in the Dark. It was published last year, 2019, by primary school children. These children are 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. Okay, so there are some people who cast aspersions on the aspect of children writing poetry, and they say, you write the poetry for them. Some people say they copy the poetry from somewhere else. But I'm here to tell you, they do neither of that. I don't write the poetry for them, and they don't copy that. I make sure that they don't copy. And this is how I do it. Whenever I need them to write poetry, I just look at them, I just gauge their disposition, and we talk about, are you ready to write? And they say, sometimes they say, yes, we are ready to write. Sometimes they say, no, we are not. So I go according to how they want, how they feel they should do it. Okay? So when it comes to writing, they do it in class, in my presence. Okay? So we brainstorm on different topics on the board. So they say, the topics come from them. They say, and I write on the board. And then I tell them, now choose a topic that you want to write about. Okay, in my presence in class. If it's 40 minutes, 80 minutes in class, I make sure that they do the work individually as they go around, making sure that they don't copy. Okay, and there are some occasions when I give them the liberty to have or to write in groups. Okay, so I organize them in groups, or sometimes they choose the people that they want to write with. Okay, in groups of 4, groups of 3, and they do it in my presence. I don't give them as homework to go write somewhere else. They do it in my presence. And at the end of the lesson, I take the pieces with me. Okay, so my work is just to go through the grammar and not to write anything for them. Okay, and they have always astounded me by the things that they come up with. Okay, the ideas. There are sometimes that I give them the topics. Okay, so I write the topics and I tell them, write about this. Okay, and they write basically very sweet things. Okay, of course, not all of them are disposed to write. Some do not write very well. Okay, so I guide them on how to do it. Some of them, of course, not everyone can do everything. Okay, there are some people who are going to be very good. Some other people will not really have that in them. And it's not a problem of their own. It's not a mistake of their own. Okay, it's something that is human nature. But those who are good are very good. And they astound me that they usually want to take it up even when they go to secondary school. And most of them have done that, and they've come back to tell me how they're progressing. When they go to those schools, the secondary schools, they come and they tell me that they went and formed writing groups, and they do write even for the school magazines in their schools. And I'm elated that at least I planted something in them. Okay, poetry, and as I told you last time, poetry is a language of the soul. It's a story written in short lines. So they do that. Okay, so I'm going to read some of the poems that they've written, and you'll gauge for yourself whether there's something that has been done. Okay, so the first one is a poem by Ian Richard. He wrote this when he was 11 years old. Okay, The Perfect Friend. If you try to make a song, would you sing me aloud? If you try to make a play, would you play me out? If you try to make a rap, would you rap me fast? If you try to make time, would you be my past? If everything erupts, would you stay by my side? Or would you run out into dust and leave me in the wild? If the ocean swallowed the earth, would you care to dive? Or would you swim out to the land and leave me to die? If my heart was broken to pieces, would you put it back? Or would you trample on it and let it rust? If my eyes were as blind as a bat, would you help me to stand? Or would you leave me alone in the dark hoping I won't mind? If you ever really cared, would you say the truth? Or would you lie to my face and leave me hanging like a fool? Or if you are really a friend, would you be there for me? Or would you just deny me again like biblical Peter did? If you really are a friend, stick with me till the end. If your care and love are pure honesty, please shun hypocrisy. Yes, that's a first poem by Ian Richard, The Perfect Friend. I'm going to read another poem from this book. It is a poem by a pupil of mine known as Edwin Witter. And it's about his brother who had autism, but unfortunately he died. When Edwin Witter joined the school, he was a very quiet boy, very quiet, and teachers used to ask themselves, what is wrong with this boy? But he's brought out what was eating him up, because this brother of his was his friend, and what he was going through was also eating Edwin up. So this is the poem. My brother, big and funny. His words made joy and laughter. When he was born, tragedy struck. My mother wept when she discovered it. He was autistic. My mother made us understand. She said, we are the same despite his weaknesses. He was different, but we learned to cooperate. My big brother, he suffered so much. He struggled and fumbled. I was compelled about his dilemma. He didn't talk as well, but we understood. And he understood. We lived with him until he passed away. But his soul still remains in our hearts. That's a poem about this brother of his, Edwin Witter, okay? So these two poems that I've read have been written and were written by children who are 12 years old. And it is instructive to understand that children also have their stories, their life stories. Just give them a chance to talk and they are going to amaze you with the things that they come up with, okay? Do not think that they don't have anything to say. They have so much. Give them a chance, give them an avenue, give them a platform, and you are going to love what comes out. Thank you so much as you prepare to give them a voice. Their voice too, just like you have a voice. Thank you so much.